We all know those people who seem to just ooze charisma and self-assurance wherever they go. The ones who command attention in any room they enter, unfazed and comfortable in their own skin. You can't quite put your finger on what it is about them, but they give off an undeniable aura of quiet confidence. Then there are those other people who try so incredibly hard to convince everyone around them of their self-worth, but it always rings a bit hollow. There's a certain frenetic, overcompensating quality to how they speak and carry themselves. Something seems ever so slightly off. By the end of this video, you'll be able to quickly differentiate true self-assuredness from mere bravado. Decoded here are the 10 giveaways that someone deeply lacks confidence no matter how much they try to fake it. Sign 1. They're loud and overbearing. People who are truly confident and secure within themselves don't feel the need to be the loudest voice in every conversation or constantly dominate the interactions happening around them. They're comfortable allowing others to share the spotlight and have their turn to speak without feeling threatened or insecure. Those who display chronic, loud, overbearing behavior, constantly interrupting others, bragging about their achievements, and silencing any voice other than their own, are likely acting out of deep insecurity rather than genuine confidence. When you lack an ingrained sense of self-worth, there's an unconscious fear that if someone else gets too much airtime or attention, it will somehow diminish your own significance or importance. So people with fragile egos and low self-esteem often resort to verbal bullying and conversational dominance tactics as a way to prevent others from outshining them. However, true confidence doesn't require hogging the floor or putting others down. Secure people are comfortable simply being themselves without trying to force their way into the spotlight. Sign 2. They tear others down. Genuinely confident and self-assured individuals have no need to validate themselves or prove their worth by belittling, mocking, or putting other people down. When you have a solid internal sense of confidence, you don't require creating a false sense of superiority over others. Secure people are able to appreciate others without feeling threatened. However, those who are deeply insecure and lack self-confidence often overcompensate by finding flaws, criticizing others, or engaging in demeaning put-downs and insults. This kind of behavior stems from a psychological need to outrank people around them and create an illusion that they are somehow better or more superior than everyone else. When you don't feel fully enough within yourself, there's an incessant subconscious drive to seek external validation by pointing out others' flaws and mistakes. So watch closely for people who constantly critique others, nitpick, and assert their own false sense of superiority as a way to mask their insecurities. Sign 3. They're approval addicts. While everyone wants to feel liked and accepted by others to some degree, those who are severely lacking in self-confidence take the need for approval and external validation to an extreme level. They essentially become approval addicts, chasing compliments and positive affirmation from others like a drug they can't get enough of. When you don't have a solid, imperturbable sense of self-worth on the inside, you start to rely on and become unmoored without that constant stream of praise coming from external sources. Approval and being told you're doing a good job becomes like a lifeline to temporarily fill the void of insecurity within. Truly confident people don't require that perpetual affirmation loop, although they certainly can appreciate kind words from others. But desperate approval seeking, living for those validation hits, is a classic giveaway of deep insecurities hiding underneath. Sign 4. They're control freaks. People who possess genuine self-confidence are able to stay grounded and centered even when things don't go according to plan or unexpected circumstances arise. They have faith in their own ability to adapt fluidly and remain unshaken even amidst uncertainty or disruptions to their desired outcomes. In contrast, those who are crippled by intense insecurity and lack of self-assurance often reveal this through an excessive need to exert control over every variable in their lives and situations. Micromanagers, rigid perfectionists, or those who have a meltdown over even minor disruptions to their routines tend to be exposing a deep lack of confidence. Their fear is that any deviation from their tightly orchestrated control will lead to them being exposed somehow as inadequate or incapable. So they cling to compulsive controlling behaviors as an anxious attempt to avoid ever being seen as anything less than perfect or infallible. Healthy confidence allows for flexibility, while insecurity demands white-knuckled control. Sign 5. They're self-deprecating. While a well-timed self-deprecating joke or comment said with the right intention can come across as charmingly humanizing, there's a difference between that and someone who seems to have a default mental script of constant self-deprecation running through their mind non-stop. If someone is constantly putting themselves down, slighting their own accomplishments, and mocking themselves, it's often a red flag that deeper insecurities and poor self-worth issues are present. Those with low confidence and poor boundaries around receiving criticism often seek to get ahead of it by beating other people to the punch and making harsh critiques of themselves first. The thought process is that if they are the first to point out their own flaws or make themselves the butt of the joke, it robs others of the ability to insult or criticize them. However, this technique tends to backfire by making the person come across as lacking self-esteem and desperately seeking acceptance rather than exuding true confidence. Those who are genuinely self-assured don't feel the need to perpetually run themselves down or admit perceived faults before anyone else can point them out. They are able to simply own their positive traits and accomplishments without apology or self-flagellation. Constant self-deprecation is often a hallmark of fragile egos and deep-seated insecurity. Sign 6. They're status hungry. People who have cultivated a strong, grounded sense of self-worth don't require external markers of success, wealth, or status to validate their confidence and identity. You'll notice their assuredness transcends whatever level of professional achievement, prestigious affiliations, or materialistic possessions they may or may not have attained. But those who are entrenched in chronic insecurity often reveal themselves by becoming ravenous status seekers, obsessively chasing after credentials, accolades, elite social circles, and status symbols they can hold up as validating their sense of being enough. For the insecure, attaining those coveted markers only briefly alleviates their anxious need to prove their worth until they commence pursuing the next socially reinforced goal to define themselves by. In essence, the chronically insecure often adopt the delusional belief that climbing any particular status ladder is the solution to their feelings of inadequacy. However, their hunger is never satiated because the lack of self-worth creating that void exists within, not from something external that can be endlessly acquired. Sign 7. They're indecisive and noncommittal. People with healthy self-confidence have the internal clarity and trust in themselves to formulate a vision, set clear boundaries, stake out assertive positions on important issues, and decisively implement their plans without constantly second-guessing themselves or wavering. In contrast, those suffering from insecurity often struggle immensely with committing to any firm decision, stance, or defined direction whatsoever. Their overwhelming fear of making the wrong choice that could potentially expose them to criticism or failure makes them indecisive, avoidant of taking clear positions, and intensely averse to assertive commitments that shine a spotlight on their inner uncertainty. At the extreme, this chronic hesitation leads to crippling analysis paralysis, an inability to take any action or stand for anything in particular. Such indecisiveness often causes the insecure to abandon their agency completely, allowing others who exhibit more self-trust and vision to dictate the course instead. Sign 8. They're inconsistent and opportunistic. Genuinely confident people are guided by a strong internal compass of values, ethics, and coherent beliefs that create clear through lines in terms of how they think, behave, and move through the world. At their core, self-assured individuals have an ingrained sense of self-awareness that prevents constant self-contradictions or holding preferential stances merely to serve their egos. Insecurity, on the other hand, tends to reveal itself through rampant inconsistencies in someone's behavior, words, and principles over time. Rather than operating based on a steady integrated paradigm, the chronically insecure often come across as erratic or scatteredly opportunistic, trying on different identities, taking whatever position benefits their precarious egos in the moment, and readily contradicting themselves without acknowledgement. When you lack a firm anchor of self-trust and congruent values, it's easy to be swayed into momentary stances, reactivity, or adopting convenient rationales that cast your previous stances aside based on whatever anxieties are flaring up. This chameleonic dysfunction is often just a cover-up to avoid admitting, I'm simply unsure of who I am or what I stand for. Sign 9. They fish for insults. Those who lack genuine self-confidence often seem to unconsciously seek out criticism or insults even when none is being overtly directed at them. It's as if they have a deep-seated need to confirm their greatest fear, that they truly aren't good enough or measuring up in some way. You may notice the insecure person fishing for put-downs by making self-deprecating statements like, I'm probably really bad at this, but, or this is dumb, I know. They essentially invite and give openings for others to validate their harsh self-judgments by agreeing and piling on the criticism. Secure, self-assured people are able to take well-intended feedback or critiques with a sense of poise and graciousness without automatically leaping to the conclusion that they are being personally attacked or insulted. But those lacking confidence seem to give far more power to even small negative comments, reading deep insults into every remark as proof of their inadequacy. Sign 10. They downplay compliments. One of the clearest contrasts between confidence and insecurity is how someone receives compliments or praise. A genuinely confident person is able to accept and ingest positive feedback with a simple "thank you," owning their accomplishments without arrogance. Those deep in the grips of insecurity, however, seem to have an allergic reaction to any compliments paid to them. You'll notice they reflexively downplay, reject, or deflect away any admiration or acknowledgement of their positive traits and successes. The insecure may reply to compliments with self-deprecating comments like, "Oh, it was nothing really," or "No, I'm sure yours is better than mine." At their core, they have such profound feelings of unworthiness that it makes them incredibly uncomfortable to simply receive and absorb any positive comments or praise. Their conditioning is to instinctively doubt or diminish it. So there you have the 10 glaring giveaways that someone is lacking in the confidence they may try to project externally. As you've now seen, no matter how elaborate the cover-up routine is, the subtle signs and energetics of insecurity are impossible to conceal completely if you know what to look for. Real internal security stems from fostering unshakable self-acceptance, boundaries, and clarity on your intrinsic worth as a human being. It cannot be fabricated through bluster or acquired through accomplishments alone. It blossoms through doing the deep inner work to integrate all aspects of self unconditionally. Only then can you remain impervious to the opinions of others, untainted by insecurity. Only then can you be peaceful and centered, yet simultaneously have the courage to step out and create a bold life on your terms with confidence as quiet as it is potent. If you have made it this far, let us know what you think in the comment section below. For more interesting topics, make sure you watch the recommended video that you see on the screen right now. Thanks for watching.